This video is sponsored by Brilliant, and the first 200 people to use the link in the description down below to sign up are gonna get 20% off their annual premium subscription. I had an intro joke planned, but I don't need it anymore. So, welcome to the last video of the year. Now I gotta say 2019 was a year in which I was very inspired to improve my craft in many different areas. I got into music, I upgraded my camera setup, my studio, and that was in no small part due to inspiration I received from other YouTubers that I follow and in some cases know in person. So what I'm gonna do with this video is round the year off by sharing 10 of the YouTubers who really inspired me and pushed me to grow in many areas this year, and I would highly recommend checking out each and every single one of these people, and I'll have them linked all in the description down below. So the first person on my list is somebody who I would be very surprised if you haven't seen on YouTube before. It is my very good friend Matt Dia Vella. I believe Matt and I met in 2018 when I went on his podcast to talk about general productivity, but this year I flew back out to LA and I did an interview with him that was all about his production process and in general how he stays productive. And after I created that video, I got really inspired to improve my own production process and make some improvements in the gear that I was using. I was kind of using a lot of the same gear that I had been using for several years, kind of using static shots, not really pushing myself in terms of filmmaking. And I gotta say, Matt, more than anybody else, inspired me in both the way that he makes his own content, but also through talking to me about how he does it to improve my own process as well. Now, I'm kind of cheating with the second person on my list because they aren't really a full-fledged YouTuber. They're actually a full-time musician, but I gotta give a shout out to Tasha Sultana. If you haven't heard of Tasha Sultana, they are a live looping artist from Australia who really kind of blew up last year and blew up even more this year. And my head writer Ransom actually introduced me to them in June, and literally everything that I did this year with music, which if you look at my Instagram is quite a lot in comparison to previous years, was really inspired by Tosh. When I learned about live looping, when I learned that I could mix multiple instruments together in a live setting, but also when I just got inspiration from the way they use multiple instruments and a looper pedal to create just these amazing songs, it really got me back into music and it made me take it a lot more seriously. All right, number 3 on the list is Linus Sebastian, and in fact the entire team over at Linus Media Group. And I'm gonna tease something that I haven't talked about yet before, but earlier this year, my editor Tony and I flew up to Vancouver and spent an entire day with Linus. He was kind enough to let us kind of come into the studio, see exactly how they make all their videos, and that video is coming in January of next year. So I'm really excited to share all that with you guys. But just like with Matt, going and spending a day with the Linus Media Group team, seeing how they do things in a very detailed way inspired us to make big improvements in our own process. So one tip that I would give you is if you want to improve your own process and whatever kind of work you're doing, go and watch how other people that you look up to do it, because you are undoubtedly going to learn techniques and workflow hacks that you hadn't thought of before, and they're probably going to improve your own process. Number 4 on my list is a guy named Rubidium who runs a channel called The Crimson Engine. And this is a bit of a smaller channel, but I think more than any other channel I started watching this year, The Crimson Engine has helped me to up my game in terms of production quality. Now, Matt and Linus really inspired me, but the Crimson Engine goes through cinematic lighting setups in detail, goes through different camera settings that you can use, how to properly expose, how to shoot in RAW, how to light a scene dramatically, how to use things like reflectors like this, or where to place the mic. And what I love about Rubidium is he's an actual filmmaker. He's made feature films in the past, and his channel is all about sharing the very deep technical insights and information that he's gained from doing those bigger budget projects. Number 5 on my list is quite a different channel than the other ones I've mentioned so far, because it's actually a sketch comedy channel. It's called Caleb City, and I would be surprised if you haven't seen this channel as well. But what really inspired me about Caleb City was the fact that, with very few exceptions, Caleb does almost everything on his own. It's just one guy doing all the acting, all the filming. He plays multiple characters. And in an earlier video that I made this month, I talked about how one of the biggest lessons I sort of learned, or really relearned this year, was that limitations are a very beneficial thing to creativity. When you have very little to work with, when you have a lot of constraints, some great stuff can come out of it because you really have to focus and hone your attention on what you have to work with. And to me, Caleb City is one of the best examples exemplars of this principle. Again, he's just one guy making videos, and with very few exceptions, he doesn't have anybody holding the camera, he doesn't have anybody really helping him do these things at all, and yet his videos are so entertaining, and I almost never find myself clicking out of one before I've completely finished it. So go check his channel out, and if you're looking for some creative inspiration, I think you're going to get it there. Number 6 on my list, and I think I'm holding up the right number of fingers, yep, is one of the best music educators, in my opinion, on the entire YouTube website, and that is Andrew Wong. Now, I have been watching Andrew's content for more than a year, but this year, again, I really started to take music a lot more seriously than I had in the past. So I started watching a lot more of Andrew's content, and what inspires me about Andrew is just how passionate he is about exploring all aspects of music. He's into synthesizers, he's into music production, he's into playing multiple instruments, and he loves to share all of what he learns with the world. And he's also just incredibly prolific. I mean, he releases videos on a pretty consistent schedule, but in addition to that, if you go over to his Spotify, you're gonna see that he has created dozens, if not hundreds of songs in just the 5 years that he's been on Spotify. So in addition to his creativity, in addition to his curiosity, Andrew's work ethic and his productivity as a musician, as a full-time creative, really inspires me to up my own game as well. Number 7 on the list is Cory Arnold over at 12 Tone, which is yet another music channel. And in this case, the channel is kind of all about music theory and music analysis, but there is one video in particular that really helped me out this year and got me inspired, which was his video on how to write lyrics. And it's kind of funny because if I'm not incorrect, I remember Cory telling me or saying somewhere on the internet that that video wasn't something he had planned on making. He had this really ambitious video planned and he wasn't able to get it done when the deadline came. So instead, he just made this lyric video, and I guess he's not a huge lyricist himself. So he had said that the video wasn't one of his favorites, but personally, that video of his has helped me out more than any other because I had a project this year, which I'm going to be talking about in the near future, where I went and wrote a song. And I really had very little experience writing lyrics, so I didn't know how to do it, and I certainly didn't know how to do it competently. And Cory's video gave me sort of the push that I needed to sit down and write some lyrics that I was kind of proud of. And I also have to recommend Inari Souls' channel. So Inari Soul, if you haven't heard of her, she is a classical pianist who is incredibly talented. If you've ever seen one of her videos where she actually performs some of the music she's written, it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. But this year I started to play piano again, started taking music a bit more seriously. So Inari Souls' channel was one that I started watching because of that, and she's really inspiring to me for a couple of different reasons. First, she has this video that kind of goes through a realistic practice session of a professional pianist, and I really liked that video. But just like with Andrew Wong, I was really inspired by Nari's curiosity and willingness to branch out into different genres of music and to learn from different artists and performers. She has this entire series on her channel where she does flamenco dissected by a classical musician or synthesizers dissected by a classical musician. All of these videos are absolutely fantastic, and I do want to shout out the synthesizer one in particular because it is the video that inspired me to learn how synthesis works, which was always kind of something that I just thought was magic, and I never really understood kind of how you build the kind of tones you want. But once I watched her video and then went down a rabbit hole of watching some other videos, I got it. And I finally realized oh, it's just oscillators, and you're just kind of adjusting the voltage that's applied to an oscillator, you're adjusting filters, and that's the foundation of all atmospheric pads and all kinds of different sounds you hear in lots of songs you've heard your entire life. So I definitely want to give a shout out to her channel and just her general curiosity and tendency to explore different areas of music because it has definitely benefited me. And that brings us to channel number 9, which I'm actually going to let my friend Martin tell you about.
This year I picked up a new skill, which is pixel art. I've been interested in pixel art for a long time, since I was a kid, but I never really took it seriously. And this year I finally decided that I wanted to start taking it seriously, but I ran into some problem points, and I found Pixel Pete's YouTube channel to be particularly helpful there, especially a video called Pixel Art 101 Color Palettes, because I had never really thought about how you could take different colors and make them feel like they belong together. Check out my SoundCloud.
You don't have a SoundCloud anymore. Didn't you delete it?
I did delete it. I don't have a SoundCloud.
Okay, and that brings us to the final channel on my list, which is going to be Christopher Rhodes over at YC Imaging. So 2019 was definitely the year of the camera for me. Like I said, Matt was kind of the main guy who inspired me to upgrade my camera setup, upgrade my lighting game, all kinds of stuff like that. But because I also really got more serious about music this year, I kind of naturally gravitated towards getting interested in how music videos were made. For me, making a YouTube video where I sit down and talk to the camera, I totally get that. But watching music videos, especially really well-made ones, I've always kind of been like, that's a whole different level of filmmaking. I don't really know how that's done at all. And what I love about Christopher's channel is that he is a professional music video producer, and he kind of breaks down the lighting setups that he uses, the camera settings, all kinds of stuff like that. But what separates Christopher from a lot of other YouTubers is that he actually posts finished work on his channel. So in addition to videos where he's teaching you how to do things, he will post finished and polished music videos. And it's great to see little clips of these music videos that he uses as examples during his educational content. It's great to see these being made and then get to go see the final product, because your brain sort of makes a connection. You're seeing how things were made, you're seeing the final product, and you kind of go, oh, that's how he did that. And that is what you can do with these techniques if you apply them properly. Now, if there's a common thread to be found between all the YouTubers on my list, I would say that for most of them, they taught me new technical skills that I was able to use and able to really combine together to improve the overall level of quality and creativity in my content. And that's really what inspires me, learning new skills from various areas and then combining them. And this is really the foundation of becoming a creative and competent problem solver. You want to, number one, practice solving tough problems, but number two, build a wide base of knowledge that you can draw from. And a great resource for helping you do both of these things is Brilliant. Brilliant is a learning platform that helps you to build mastery in math, science, and computer science through an incredibly active, hands-on library of courses that throws you into storytelling problems, code writing challenges, all kinds of interactive problems that really get your brain working actively to learn the material instead of just kind of sitting back and passively intaking it, which really isn't all that efficient. Now, Brilliant's library has more than 60 in-depth courses, including a complete suite of math courses ranging from the basics of number theory, going to algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and shooting all the way up to the very complex advanced math topics like calculus and differential equations and high-level statistics. They have science courses, including waves and light, gravitational physics, and computer science courses, including a brand new course on how search engines work. So if you've always wondered how Google works, well, you actually get the chance to build a simpler version of that in this course, and in the process actually learn how a search engine can index millions upon billions actually of pages and then serve them to you in less than a second or sometimes instantly. And in addition to that library of courses, there's also a feature called Daily Challenges, where every single day you're gonna get a new problem from a different area of science or math or computer science, which number one, helps you to make problem solving a daily habit, but number two, can get you interested in areas that you hadn't considered before and can help you broaden your horizons. So if you wanna start learning for free today and support my channel, you can go sign up for Brilliant by going to brilliant.org/thomasfrank, and their free plan gets you access to those daily challenges every single day. And if you're one of the first 200 people to use that link and sign up, you're gonna get 20% off their annual premium subscription, which gets you access to that entire library of in-depth courses. Thanks as always to Brilliant for sponsoring this episode and being a supporter of my channel, and thank you for watching as well. Thank you for an awesome 2019, and I will see you in the new year. If you haven't subscribed already, you can get subscribed right there, or check out my music channel right over there if you're looking for some, pretty cool music, I guess. Otherwise, I'm gonna put one more video over here and another video right over here. That's right, 2 videos, and you can smash your face into your phone screen to watch those. Otherwise, go do your thing. I'm not your dad, and I'll see you later.